All right, guys, what's going on? I'm Degidio. We are back with another episode of the Jaxxon Sports Podcast. I'm sitting here with the greatest co-host of all time, not to be confused with Rampage Jackson, Twitch. And today we have one of our very own, a Jaxxon athlete, Santos Studio athlete, and one of the guys who's helped us build this entire brand, PROD! Yeah! Yes!
All right.
Loco, I told you he was going to come on.
Not expecting that.
He didn't think you were going to show. I said, why wouldn't he show? Loco said, because he never does interviews.
I always show.
That's what I said.
He was only 43 minutes late.
That's what I said.
Hey, that's just when the Uber came. And by the way, 43 minutes late, but I've been here for an hour and a half. So,
This is true. This is true.
We had a small accident on the bike. A small accident.
Is that
on
what
the
we're
bike.
calling it?
Twitch gave me a souped up, just, I don't know what you would call it. I would say probably like Hector's Honda at Race War with VR Techs and twin turbo NOS. And what is it, Indian?
Yep.
What's it, a glider? Glide rail?
Sure.
Okay. And the thing just goes on its own. And we almost went through a wall. And that's why we stopped.
There's no we in this. It was all him.
that's real.
Okay, let's not do too much here. We have security footage. We'll let that do the talking. Right now, we actually have a jam-packed gym right now here at Jaxxon Media House. I see Coach Gabe, Coach Yogi. I see Gabe, Face Jarvis. I see Eric Priest. I see Scrappy. So one of the things I wanted to kick off with that being there is the Jaxxon Media House has totally turned into not just like a clubhouse for our whole team, but really like a cool, all joking aside, merging of culture. And that's what we keep trying to get at. That's the kind of the common theme here. Bringing a guy like Twitch on and you, these legends of action sports, like, you know, I call the action sports Avengers, and being able to kind of like, it's like you guys are playing like dad, but not in a way of being old, but more of like, these guys all look up to you guys because you've been able to make a career out of these non-traditional sports. And you guys are like pioneers of the sports. And that's kind of what I wanted to bring both of you guys here today, because we've never done a podcast with you two. You're like an icon of moto, an icon of skate, and I'm just a podcast host. So being able to kind of have us here, and I kind of wanted to just talk about the transition of how you guys kind of came into your careers and the things you guys have seen and where like action sports is at today, you know? We talk about this almost every day.
Yep.
I think like one of the biggest things, P-Rod, is I've seen this SLS in Santa Monica video going viral on the internet.
Yeah.
What is that?
So there, in Santa Monica, there's a set of stairs called the Triple Set, Santa Monica Triple Set. It's very famous. It's kind of like a rite of passage spot where, like, if you got a clip down there, you're in the history books.
Everyone knows about it.
Yeah, everyone knows about it. So they decided to hold a straight contest there, invite people there, and do tricks live in front of everybody.
Dope.
Yeah,
I think it's dope as hell. And
yeah.
it's cool too, because it's like, that's just a street spot that you guys would just go to, that you guys found, you know what I mean? So to have a contest where it's like, you would never think there would be a contest there.
Yeah.
Like as big as the platform that's doing.
No. Years ago, you would never even see that happening. I mean, it's pretty impressive, and I'm sure that there's going to be some outrageous tricks going down, because in those type of environments, when you got that kind of energy and everybody's got that attention, the spotlight's on you, it really pushes people to like up the game. So I'm really curious what's going to go down.
I miss seeing those environments. Like back in the day, like when we'd be at Do Tour or X Games, like anytime our practice or contest was over, we'd go watch you guys. And then from you guys, we'd go watch BMX. And it's like, that's what's cool about, I think, like our whole, like our generation of like action sports. It's like we all liked everything that was going on at X Games besides the rollerblading.
I'm glad that didn't stay too much longer.
But the clip that they're going viral, this clip that's going viral from SLS, that's not a new clip, right?
No, that was from
That's one of your most famous clips.
PROD 3 Nike commercial where Kobe made a cameo in that. So yeah.
Pretty
yeah,
dope.
so I got my one trick in there, you know, in the history book. So I'm very proud of that.
How long did it take you to get that trick?
That was about 10 tries. Thank
10.
God. Yeah, thank God. And I had never skated it before. So I'd only looked at it in previous years. And when they were talking about doing the commercial, they told me all the setup, the cameos they wanted to do. And I was like, all right, I got to do something like good for this.
Yeah.
So out of nowhere, they were like, okay, we just need you to know what spot you want to skate. What's the trick? And that's the first spot that came up in my Santa Monica Triple Set. I want to switch tray flip it.
Sick.
And when we got there, the production day, I got there and I was like, oh my God, what did I get myself into?
Why did I pick this
Why
location?
did I just say this? I've never skated it. I had never even just ollied it, nothing. And the pressure was on. The camera crew was there. Everybody, they spent all this money on these big cameras, this big crew, this production. And there was no getting out of it. So thank God it worked out. Because those are always sketchy. Because like you could just get hurt and not get it, and all that money's gone. You know. So
did you have any hard slams that day? Like trying?
No, thankfully. So like the first 3 or 4, I flipped it, kicked it away, rolled out, and then after I landed on one of them, I landed on every single one of them until finally rolling away. So
it's crazy watching the slams that you guys take. Like your guys' body like takes a beating. Where it's like the average person, if they were to fall from say like a 6 there, like they're breaking ankles, like they're getting hurt bad. Where you guys, it's like you know how to fall. Like you have that awareness of like, okay, I'm gonna hit to my legs and roll out of this thing. Like it's crazy to think about everything that's going on in your head, focusing on the trick, but at the same time, like, okay, as soon as something goes wrong, it clicks to like, I gotta survive.
Yeah. It's I think that knowing how to fall well, I think, is the main thing to longevity.
Yep.
Because if you can fall well, that means you can get up and try again. So
You're
the
still
more
doing
time
it.
you can get up and try again, the longer you'll be around. Thank God. But I mean, you know, speaking of falls, I feel like every time you guys fall, it's bad. Like if you fall, something's breaking.
It's from high, it's from far. Like you tumble.
That's
but
crazy.
The crazy thing is too, is we feel the same way about you guys. Like when we see you guys taking slams, I'm just like, dude, that's gnarly. And then you get up and do it again. A lot of the times we can't get up and do it again because like our bike's messed up or we broke something where it's like, you guys are just back at it. You'll have like 10 of those. That one gnarly slam, you'll do 10 times in a row before you get that trick.
Right.
But that's where it's like, I respect you guys so much just because seeing like how much heart you put into it, and that's how bad you want to land this trick. You just keep going for it. Like your body, like, I don't even care how bad I'm hurting. I'll deal with it tomorrow.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And vice versa, though. What's impressed me is like how consistent you have to be. You have to be consistent because you can't afford to fall or else, you know, the consequences are so high.
And that shit sucks falling, but I feel like that's part of it. You know what I mean? Like that's how you learn certain things. Like, and I feel like a lot of the times, like whenever I really crashed at like an event, it was because I was worrying about what somebody else was doing and I wanted to beat them. You know what I mean? Or I was like, you know what? I remember that one year at Dew Tour when I broke both my legs. I'd never done a mini flip before, but I practiced my ass off that year before going into it where I was like, I'm going to win the series. I'm going to win everything. When I was sitting there in 4th place, I'm like, fuck it. I'm going for it. Worst thing that's going to happen, I'm going to fall from 4 feet in the air, which ended up being 40 feet in the air to fucking 2 broken legs.
Crazy,
and it sucks, but and it's weird too because everyone's always like, well, why do you get back up and do it again? And it's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. It's like, this is what I do. Like, it's something I'm really good at and I love doing it. Even if I wasn't getting paid to ride a motorcycle, I'd still ride my motorcycle a few days a week.
100%.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's kind of like where our longevity comes from. Is like, we didn't get into this because of the money, because of the sponsors, of the fame. It's like, no, I did this because it kept me out of trouble. I grew up in a shitty neighborhood. So my dad took me riding every single day where it's like, and it's just like a passion that I've always had and I always will, no matter how old I get.
Yeah. And I don't know about for you guys, but I mean, there was no money and fame and all that when I first started.
No,
it was
nothing.
it's just you're a kid and it's amazing. It feels great. You feel so excited to do it. It's a passion. I got a question. How did it work before you had any sponsors and you're just a kid starting, you're trying to learn like falling and your bike getting all smashed up and you have to fund this yourself. Like how did that go? Like
that was the hard part because like my parents didn't have that much money. Like I grew up like not well off, but my parents could give me like shit that I wanted, but like my dad would go out and sell drugs in order to fund certain things for me to go do. You know what I mean? Or they would skip out on rent that month and fix my bike, or we'd go racing. But I would say for me, like I always loved BMX and I always loved moto. I skated. I actually even rollerbladed, a little bit. I got to throw it out there. I did it. It is what it is. Honestly, I did. Yeah, I don't care. You make fun of me. Who cares? But I also skateboarded. But I don't know, moto and dirt bikes I always loved, and I was always doing tricks on my dirt bikes. So like, or on my BMX bike, and then I'd say like probably like right around the same time like Krusty Demons came out, I started seeing like Metzger, Deegan, like all those dudes doing tricks. Where I was like, well, shit, I can do that trick on my dirt bike or on my bicycle. I should try it on my motorcycle. Got you. But dude, there would be months where I wouldn't ride because we couldn't afford to fix my bike after I crashed it, or if I blew it up, I'm like, we don't have an extra $150 right now. Like we got to go get some more Top Ramen and PB&Js. You know, like
right.
So and I feel like that's like the hard part with moto is like how expensive it is to get into it. Versus like skating, like it's not that bad. Like you can go buy a skateboard, you can go get like board, trucks, like all the stuff that you need, like easy. Where dirt bikes, sometimes you're like, hey, like I need $14,000 to go buy a new motorcycle. Like it's
and
crazy
like a
the
place
amount
to
of
ride.
prices.
Like it seems like
the place to ride is a big one.
It seems like a hard thing to be able to get into.
Yeah, a lot of the tracks are getting shut down right now too because of like insurance stuff and like it's just weird. So it's like there was so many tracks out here in California. I would say we went from about 8 tracks that were fairly close to about 3 within like a few months.
Really?
Yeah, pretty gnarly for like kids trying to come up and like go race and do that stuff. Like if you don't know someone or have a facility to go to, like it's hard. It is. It's getting harder.
Yeah, there's a track in Verona, Lakeside. It's on the Indian reservation. It's ran by Dayton and this guy Finn, and
that's where I grew up racing.
Family friends of my family, and we also have a paintball park there, Giant Paintball, SC Village, San Diego, and that track is always busy, and they love like the culture of moto. They have races and they really maintenance it, but you don't really see that anywhere else anymore. And so I always go out there and I'm just like, damn, it must be so hard for you guys. Well, it's probably better for them because there's not a lot of options now, but it must be so hard for someone to own a track and then be like, I got to figure out how to make money with this. That's why we see so many tracks being part of teams.
Yeah.
And that's probably it. But speaking of that, I feel like that's something no one ever talks about. Like growing up, I used to see Sheckler and like really cool dudes at public skate parks. Yeah. And I didn't really see a lot of the private skate parks, like the Nyjah, PROD, Sheckler things that they have now in warehouses. And it always felt like the public and the culture, like you would go to a spot and everybody was there. Kind of like a Fairfax Street or kind of like La Cienega. But I feel like as the culture of skating became more like privatized, commercial, and then you got money, there's very few guys like PROD and Sheckler and Nyjah who are like, I'll just pay for my own spot, let all my boys always have a spot to skate at where they don't get in trouble. Do you feel like that kind of hurt though, the skate culture, where there's not these like public spots where the public was mixing with the pros and there was these like, or is it making it better?
No, I don't think it hurts. I think it just for me personally, it made me spoiled. But other than that, I don't think it hurts because I still go skate street, public street spots. I still go to skate public skate parks just to like have a variety because all the skate parks are different. So I'm still out there in the mix, and there's only a handful of us that are fortunate enough to have our own private spot. And here in Southern California, the weather is usually pretty good year round. So there's so many good skate parks, public parks everywhere. So no, I think it's.
But growing up though, did you look for a park that you would want to go skate at, or a trick you wanted to go do, or just a piece of or a spot? Like what were you looking for every day when you're like, because you look for like, all right, what track can I just go to or something of that nature, or what hill maybe could I ride and not get in trouble and arrested?
Yeah, I never really cared about getting in trouble. Like I liked getting chased by the cops.
Imagine.
Like I
you're
really
a little different.
I thought that was the fun part of
you
growing up.
You actually filmed yourself running
trying
from the
not
cops.
to get in trouble. And my dad always told me, he's like, if you get pulled over by the cops, you get caught, give them the wrong name. He's like, how the hell are they going to know? I'm like, okay. So he's like, and don't make it like a hard name. He's like, use like your first name and like change your last name and spell it different. You know what I mean?
Teach kids how to lie to the cops, just putting that out there.
Yeah, because he's like, don't get caught in a lie lying to the cops because they're going to ask you questions over and over. So he's like, make it simple. Be Jeremy Smith. I'm like, oh, that's easy. You know what I mean? Like,
I thought you were going to use Brian O'Connor.
No, make sure it's something you can spell too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What would you do?
I mean, so before I could drive, we would just skate spots that we could skate to on foot. So I would skate at my junior high on the weekends, hop the fence, go skate the benches, skate, behind loading docks, behind the supermarket, just simple shit like that. And then as we got older and we were able to drive, we were able to expand out and just, you had a network of friends. So all the videos you would watch would be like, oh, my friend knows where that spot is.
Let's go.
Yeah, ask him what the directions are. We're going to go there this weekend, that type of thing. Because when I grew up, like, skate parks weren't really everywhere.
No, there wasn't. There probably wasn't that many back then.
No, there wasn't.
A few
and they were private ones. It was like Simi Valley Skate Lab or Ventura Skate Street.
Yeah, I remember the skate lab.
That we could go like every so often. We would go there, but like everything I learned was either in my backyard or in the streets.
Yep.
So I'm really grateful for that era because I had to learn in the actual real terrain that we were filming in, which I think had a lot of benefits. Because I think if you just grow up in a skate park, it'll make you kind of a little bit soft, not used to the streets, like the different rugged textures and terrains, and like nothing's ever perfect. You got cracks and you got whatever distractions, cars, people walking by, different things that you have to like.
Having your buddy like hold traffic. All right, go.
Trying
not to get hit by a car. Like having that awareness
trains
too.
Your focus, your concentration, your awareness. I think if you grew up only in a skate park to then finally transition into the street, it might be a little harder.
Yeah, so. I feel like the route you took was like learn on the hard stuff, and then the skate park stuff got easier.
Yeah.
And then you didn't have to worry about like them welding knobs on rails. Like I remember like when we were
That's
younger, we would show up to
annoying, yeah.
spots and there would be knobs on rails or
Right,
on the
right,
ledges.
right.
Like you're like, oh, go get your dad's drill. Let's break this off, or let's
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
cut this
for
rail.
sure.
We would steal rails sometimes and just take them to our backyard and like concrete them in the yard. Like, yo,
Yeah,
this rail's
for
sick. Let's
sure.
just fuck it, take it.
We
You know,
would steal benches out of schools, like the
Yep.
good fiberglass benches or the butter
set up the
benches.
table, like all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I look at like the landscape of like action sports, and we always talk about this, like the culture of sponsorships and money, and the way even Jaxxon or Santo Studio or the Jaxxon Media House looks at working with athletes. But we feel like the format, and I always talk to P-Rod about this. I literally will call him, give him 30 ideas about like a skateboard event, and he'll be
You'll
like,
remember too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
Talking
then-
100
I'm
miles
the
an
same
hour.
way.
Yeah, and then I'm always like thinking to myself, like, how could I just like get some money and help like a skater like win a best trick or do this or do that? And P-Rod's been involved with some amazing events that we've seen. But I look at the SLS and the format, the vibe, the competition, and you see like that's kind of outside of their norm to just go to like Santa Monica and say we
Right.
want to do this. Normally
Yeah.
they're building like a kind of like building their own skate park in a stadium or an arena.
Right.
And it feels like almost that's more of what like the skate culture would want more of, which is like these cool landmark events where it can kind of go back to these events that you've seen like Sheckler, you know, grinding like a 30 rail and everybody's there hoping maybe he gets it or he doesn't. And there's excitement and it's like more of this public atmosphere. It almost feels like you're in a place where you shouldn't be skating, and it kind of adds to the nostalgia.
Yeah.
And like, if you could kind of touch on that a little bit, because I feel like that's way
Yeah.
more of a vibe.
I agree. I think it's definitely more of an authentic street vibe, but I love also, you know, your traditional contests as well, but I think it's just good to keep them both. I like that Street League is taking it to the streets to keep the street culture thriving and alive, because there's so many amazing skateboarders that just don't compete. That's just not what they do. That's not part, but they're still just as amazing, just as legendary, but they're just video part skaters. They're in the streets, they're filming, and they're dropping footage all the time. So I think it's good to kind of like show the public who might be a casual kind of skater or viewer that like, this is what the real thing is. This is what we really do.
This is the
streets.
culture.
Yeah, this is what this is based off of.
Yeah.
So
That's what's dope too. Cause I remember like 2010 when I started telling all my sponsors, like, hey, like I ain't gonna ride contests no more. I've always got inspiration from snowboard videos, skate videos, motocross dudes that don't ride events like what you're saying, like that are some of the baddest dudes in the world that could go to a contest and win.
Yeah.
That's just not their deal though. They don't care. They don't care about all that. They're like, I'm gonna go skate this spot. I'm gonna go ride this spot. So when I started telling my sponsors, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna just invest in myself. I have my brother-in-law who's my filmer. I'm gonna have all my videos, all my photos. I'll have all the content you need. We don't have to go pay this dude 10 grand for one photo. Like, I'll just give you the photo. Just give me more money so I can invest in myself with the filmer and go film video parts and like do cool shit. It was kind of like when Instagram started popping off, where I was like, I don't want to ride contests. Like, I just lost like I remember dropping into the LA Coliseum and being like, I don't care what place I get today. And I've never had that feeling before. Every time I dropped in, I was like, oh, I'm winning today. Or I'd be like, I'm top 3 guy today for sure. And I remember dropping in going, I don't even care what place I get. That's when I was like, I'd rather someone else that wants to be here and wants to win, fill my spot and let me go do my thing. Like, you know?
yeah. 100%.
And so to see you guys do like back to what you're saying, like it's cool to see dudes like that can actually win a contest, but could care less about it. They just want to go straight and skate in the streets or snowboard backcountry and just have dope video parts.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think action sports, like, rather than relating them to sports, I think they're more relatable to like music, right? Like you have your different genres. It's not really, at least in skateboarding, you can't really say there's any one best guy.
No.
It's like saying like, who's better, Jimi Hendrix or Mozart? Like, it's just like, it
They're
depends what you're
different
into, you know what I mean?
genres.
Like,
Yeah.
they're both amazing. They're both great at what they do. It's just what you prefer. So like, that's what I think is so great about skating is it's such variety. And I like that they're showing the variety out there.
Different styles.
Yeah,
That's
That's
what
such
I
a
like.
good way of putting it. What do you feel are the most like important genres of skating?
That's preference. Just
your
my
personal
preference is just like, I like street skating. I like technical skating. But I do admire like the guys who skate the big crazy rails, just because that's
You
not
know how
at all
gnarly
what
it
I do.
is.
And I know how dangerous and how like the mental battle you have to go through to overcome that fear to allow yourself to attempt something like that. So I just love like just really progressive street skating, whether it be technical or pushing the boundaries of like how big you can go.
But it's kind of crazy to me, and I mean this like with respect, that at your age, like I've called you multiple times and the only thing you want to do is skate.
Yeah.
You don't really care about business. You don't really, I mean, in a good way. Like you really don't. Like you're really one of the most authentic dudes I've ever seen in your world.
Thanks.
Because I've seen a lot of people, and you would think by your age, you've made money, you're successful, you would want more money or more success or more, but you don't. Like you literally love skating. And I feel like the culture of skating respects you for that. And I say that word culture because there's a lot of people who don't skate but buy and wear PRODs from Nike. And you're celebrating your 20th anniversary with Nike. You have an amazing shoe coming out. I think I leaked it by accident.
That's good. Thank you.
Here at the Jaxxon Media House one
You're
time.
the best marketer. I appreciate
Guerrilla
that.
marketing.
I actually was filming it and somehow it was a long night and then it just ended up on every Instagram account. But like one thing I look at though is like there's something there to that. Like, is it the passion for being progressive, being pioneering, kind of pushing the boundaries? Is it the passion to show people? Is it the passion that you just love doing that? Yeah. How is it not worn out? Like, walk me through why is it that you wake up every morning and that's still the only thing you want to do? Because you've even brought it up to my attention when we're trying to do big deals. You're like, yeah, that's fine. Give it to someone else. Like, I just want to go skate.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I just find it so fun. And I'm fortunate enough to be here at 40 years old, still having so much fun from this thing that I started doing at 11 years old, you know? So it's just that part, that's first and foremost. But I always, as a kid, no matter what hobby I was in, all the way up until I found skateboarding, I always gravitated towards certain figures that were like the best in their field. And I always admired them and I always one day wanted to be considered one of those guys in my field.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even care what the field is. Like, I don't care if you're like a Michelin star sushi chef. Like, I want to know, because I know that what your passion for what you're doing is the same thing that I have for what I'm doing. So I can learn something from you and the effort you put in, the focus, the commitment. So I always just looked up to guys like Bruce Lee, Michael Jordan, Kobe, the list goes on, Muhammad Ali, you know, Tom Brady, all these type of guys. And I always just was like, man, one day I want to be like considered like of that caliber in my field.
Well, bro, I think you've made it. So I would say without a doubt, there's probably not a single person on planet Earth that doesn't consider you one of the greatest ever.
I appreciate it.
So
Thank you.
that's for sure, without a doubt.
I think it's dope with, like you said, being 40 years old and still relevant in your industry where people, you've done such a good job in your career. It's like you could walk around and everyone recognizes you still.
Bro,
but it's like you're like the most humble dude just cruising around just like on your own thing, like could care less about anything. You know what I mean? Like,
that.
It's
Thank
cool.
you.
I went to the LA Fit Expo with this guy and we're walking around and bro, it's a fitness expo. Literally, I was not expecting.
Not your industry at all.
Not his world. This guy, I thought I was walking around with Michael Jackson. Like every single 3 seconds.
Did you have your glove on?
Yeah, bro. And he was wearing a red jacket.
Yeah.
Every single kid knew who this guy was going crazy. And it goes to show that there's a difference between like being popular, having some Instagram clout, and then being legendary where you like really transcend those generations and you transcend like that, the culture. Cause he may be famous to this kid for the Nike shoe. He may be famous for this kid for a skate park. He may be famous for this kid because he saw him compete and win in X Games. This guy did an SLS. It's so crazy to me because these newer kids, they're so one-dimensional. And I don't mean this in a bad way. I watch them. I sponsor these kids. I support everybody as much as I can. I'm saying this from a business perspective. So one-dimensional. They focus on this video, this part, this Instagram, this post, and then that's it. They turn off. But this guy's still in the streets mixing and matching with people. You don't see that anymore. Like, I feel like that's what gives you that edge.
Well, thank you. But I just feel like social media, like, you know, especially the kids who've grown up in it, like it's just conditioned their mind differently to how they see things. I don't think people are thinking long-term these days, thinking about legacy, thinking about like, you know, chasing greatness or leaving their mark in the game. I think social media, you know, is here today and gone tomorrow. So they're just, I think a lot of people are just chasing attention in whatever form that is. Attention.
Likes.
Yeah,
views.
likes, attention, like whatever is hot right now. But like the attention span is so short these days. So we're fortunate enough, we grew up in an era before all that. And we grew up on people like, I was watching video parts of guys that were 5-10 years old. Nobody's watching 5-year-old video parts these days. You know? So like I studied these guys, rewound, slow motion, really spent time studying the different skateboarders that I was like drawn to and like try to absorb everything I could from them. So today it's just like, all right, watch this video once or twice, gone. Tomorrow, watch this video once or twice. And like, I'm curious how much is actually sticking with them and resonating with them.
I'll still watch old ass videos.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Krusty Demons 1, you know what I mean? Like some old CKY videos, like all that. But I feel like the kids now, like you were saying, they do it for, a lot of the kids are doing it for the clout right now, where it's like, we did it for ourselves. Like there was no like, oh, I'm gonna get a big sponsor if I do this. I'm gonna go get a marketing campaign now. It's like, we never thought about anything like that. It's like, oh, I want to do this trick because I seen someone else do this thing like 5 years ago and I thought it was dope. Like we did it for ourselves, not to like show off, you know?
Right.
It was to show off, but to your crew that was with you, like, yo, I'm better than you, watch this. You know, it wasn't like it was always a competition with whoever you were with, like all your buddies, you know? So that's, I feel like the difference between like our generation and like the newer generations. Like we did everything for ourselves and that was it. Like we didn't, well, I would do shit by myself if no one was there just because I wanted to do it.
Yeah, like I could even I even fall victim to it now. Like if I in the skate park and I get a trick that I really am hyped about, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to post this. I can't wait to see what people are gonna think. Oh my God. Like whereas before, like before you even had that, you didn't think about that. Like you filmed it, it was on your filmer's hard drive
or on a VHS.
On their tape, and then until the video came out a year later when it was time to edit, or the deadline came up, and then finally everyone would see it. You
would almost forget about that you even did certain things until the video came out.
Yeah, so nowadays it's just like, oh my God, I'm about to then like you're like, okay, it's live. All right, let's see how it does. And then the high from that goes away, and then tomorrow you forget about it, and you're like, all right, let's put up another one. So.
I feel like it's hard for people to put out video clips now because it's so hard to have so much good content without posting it on the gram.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're like to get like that satisfaction of like, check this out. Look what I did. It's like, nah, you're gonna wait a year. So
does that ruin the legacy or like the kind of the anticipation of these video parts and these amazing videos that people used to spend all day and all year trying to make?
I think a lot of the filmers get pissed off about it and dudes that are producing the movies because it's like that's like what they did and what they're good at. And it's like if someone's leaking 6 clips out of their video part that only has 10 clips in it, it's like, well, there's the movie. Why even bother putting time into it? You know what I mean? Like it's hard to like, I know we would be out in the hills and we're like, hey, we're filming for a video, like please don't post anything from today. Right. By the time you get home, there's 16 clips of it and everyone's reposted it. You're like, fuck, I don't even want to put that in the movie now. Like you already seen it. Like to me, as soon as it gets out on the internet, it's old news. I'm like, fuck it. Let's do something different.
Yeah, I think these days, I think it takes a lot of anticipation out of it. Like nobody's really waiting for that big video to drop, that big part to drop. You know, like it's just you're inundated with footage all the time. But on the flip side, you know, this is a new generation, a new era. These kids growing up now, they don't know anything different. So this is their golden era. This is special to them. And they've like, their brain is built and wired for it that way. So I don't want to be the old dude kind of like saying like it's taking anything away or this or that. It's just, we're from a different time and an era and it was so special and feels so good to us. But I'm sure the kids growing up in this era right now, 5-10 years from now, who knows what it's going to be like. They're going to be telling those kids of that generation, like in our day, it was, you know, we would post a clip up right here. And, you know, like, I don't know how
it took 10 minutes to post and do a caption. Now it's 30 seconds.
Spoken like a true legend. Basically saying like each generation's got their own style.
It does.
That's cool.
And at the same time, it's still growing the sport. Whether you're holding on to a clip or not.
Do it like that though, because there's a lot of kids who look up to you and probably like, don't play me. This is all I know. I didn't know how to make a video part. So it's cool. You look at it like that and you're not all like hating on these kids. Honestly, I mean that with all due respect. Like, it's cool that you guys are able to see through that because there is still a huge cultural generation that looks up to you guys as like the icons of your sports, especially like moto. Like, there was nothing besides really X Games and Dew Tour that you guys could really go and showcase, right?
No, nothing. It was just go to a contest and show them what you got. Practice all month.
But there was no like SLS, like a specific moto freestyle event only. Like where there was nothing else.
No, not well. When it first started, there was like LXD, 4-leaf, like events like that, but. That's what was cool about back then is like you would be able to practice and you didn't really have camera phones. You weren't posting stuff like you were filming your little flip on your little camera, going home, watching it, plug it in the TV, watch your practice, go back, try it again. So yeah, it looked like just different times.
For sure.
I look at like kind of like these legacy guys and I don't want to call them icons because some of them maybe haven't won. I don't want to disrespect anybody. We got in a huge argument on our Jaxxon podcast Discord because now we have all these little categories. We have like moto and skate and everybody's like arguing who's the best because we post that on our podcast always, like top 5 featherweights of all time, top 5 middleweights of all time. Those are like the posts that go the craziest because everybody just wants to argue with each other.
Well, everyone has an opinion.
Yeah, this guy's not an icon. He's a legacy guy. This guy, and so it's like so crazy to me. So I'm trying to figure out the right terms. But in terms of X Games, are there guys who you would say just pioneered the entire sport? Like people always talk about Travis Pastrana. He pioneered like all of action sports. Is there someone like that in skateboarding who you feel, because I would say like if you didn't know anything about skating, the only real movie you've ever seen that was like a movie quality was maybe like Lords of Dogtown or something, you know, like, so not a lot of people have ever seen the real history of like street skating, technical skating, you know, Costco gaps and Sheckler and you in Santa Monica. So is there someone that you would say like, oh, this guy really did it?
Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is Tony Hawk is the one guy anybody's going to know anywhere on this planet when you say skateboarding. And
that's crazy.
And the Birdman, he's literally given his whole life to it, and
he's still
he deserves
doing
that respect. And,
yeah.
I mean, you know, even though, I mean, he's won endless amounts of contests, but the thing is, the 900 at the X Games after time that wasn't for the contest was doing it just to make history. Yeah, all heart, and just to make history. I mean, that's legendary. I think that's the thing, that him being that big and doing that 900 literally opened the door for all of us and literally gave us all a bigger platform and brought attention to everything we're doing.
Yeah, like when I think of X Games and action sports, it's Tony Hawk, Dave Mirra, Pastrana, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's just, there's so many like names that are just stuck in your head from like just that era of like action sports for sure.
So what is the reasoning now? I mean, X Games is still here. It's still big. There's nothing else. Why do you think that X Games is having a hard time building nostalgic characters or building the legacy or the hype in today's time?
I don't have a great answer, but I think social media has something to do with it. I think just content coming from all directions. Like, there's not that one place that you are forced to go to get your content from, or to get your fix, your contest fix, or your video part fix. It's just everywhere. You're getting everything from everywhere. Everything's going on. So like, you don't feel like, oh shoot, it's X Games, so this is the only time of year I get to see skating like this with all these my favorite skaters together, so I have to come here and watch it. Like, you can see them all the time, every day on your phone, you know. So
and I feel like nowadays too, it doesn't need to be someone that everyone looks up to doing something gnarly. There's so many kids posting crazy shit on the internet of like, like there's this kid from New Zealand doing quad flips on a BMX bike, and it's like there's so much crazy stuff going around on the internet. It's like, do you really need one spot to have this event? And if you're having this event, do you have every single dude that's the best in the world at what they do there? No, you don't, because some people can't afford to go there. Some people don't know who this kid is that just, you know, like point. It's just, there's so much stuff going on where it's a different time.
Bro, that is such a great point.
Yeah.
All the best guys in the world being at one event used to be the X Games.
It used to be X Games, like Gravity Games, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So do you feel that X Games not being able to get the top 10 best freestyle motocross riders or the top 10 best skaters at one time is also hurting the ability for someone to be able to say like, I won X Games, I'm the best in the world, because they're not competing against the best in the world?
It's hard to say, man. I think just saying like, I won this, so I'm the best in the world, I think that's more of a marketing thing. A marketing slogan.
I've won a lot of shit, but I never thought I was the best in the world, because there's always someone that can beat you.
Yeah.
It was, you won that day because it was your day. Or, you know what I mean? Like, the end of the day, best man's going to win. But there's also, it's a judge sport. Your view might be different from his view. The fucking dude that just won the contest, you didn't know his roommate's the head judge. You know what I mean? Like, there's always shady shit, and there's sometimes it works to your advantage and sometimes it doesn't. It's just when it's a judge sport, it's never going to be the outcome that every single person in the room thinks was the same winner.
Yeah, and also as far as judges go, it's all like action sports are all subjective too, right? Like, one judge might like the trick you did. The other judge might think that guy's trick was cooler, just off of preference, not out of hate or anything. Just like, I just happen to be drawn to this guy, so I'm voting for this guy. Or I happen to like how he skated, so same thing. Like, that's why I compare it to music. Like, somebody winning a Grammy, you know, it's all just off opinion and whoever that committee was that happened to be like, you know what, we just like this guy's music, so we want to give him the Grammy. You know, like, there's no qualification that shows you a stats or whatever. Well, he sold this many records, he did this, he gets the Grammy. You know, it's like,
I know dudes back in the day, like when I was first competing, that would be like, hey, I just got a fucking smoking new contract, my bonuses are ridiculous, I'll pay you guys all money if I win the contest. Motherfucker wins the contest. He's laughing. You know what I mean? Which he might have won the contest anyways, but there's that chance you could have not. And it's hey, you just like, you were smarter than everyone else that day. You offered some money to the judges and it worked out in your favor.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about paying the homies.
No, like the judges. Like, I know dudes that have done this before where I'm like, fuck, you can't hate
He's
on
hustled it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. And I think it's also like comes down to like marketability. That's a big thing in action sports.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, some guys could be like technically so amazing and just the fans don't seem to be drawn to that person for whatever the case may be. And another person just might be a little more stylish, might just have a little more charisma, and the fans can't get enough of that person.
That's what I've always looked for. Like all the dudes that I've always looked up to that was like the best in their sport is because I love the style of the way they would do the trick. You could have the dude right next to him do the same exact trick, but the landing was sketchy. Like it's just not like, I always like smooth, like effortless, like fluid.
You kind of talked about that one time to me about how the style of the trick, like making the trick look easy, is just as important as landing the trick.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's more important. I think for me personally, my personal opinion is like the trick could be less difficult, but more stylish in whatever that definition means, as opposed to doing the hardest trick ever in the world, but it actually looked like it was the hardest trick for you in the world. I'll take the little bit less hard trick with style any day.
Like that's what I was saying about our buddy Patrick Evan. He's riding like the new e-bike, the Stark, and he's taking old school tricks and putting his own style to them, and it makes them look so dope. Where everyone's like, "What the fuck is that?" I'm like, that trick is from 22 years ago. And he's just making it look dope with his own style. Like it's cool to see some of the younger kids coming up right now in our sport doing some of the old tricks, but making it look cool. Like I appreciate that. I'd rather see something like that than like a sketchy double flip or a triple flip, you know?
Yeah, and you can argue and nerd out on stuff like that. Like, whoa, he's doing that trick we've seen people do before, but he's doing it new and different. So like you could actually argue that is harder to do. You know, than some of these other would be considered hard tricks. Like to take your time and put more time into fewer tricks, but make them look amazing the way that nobody's seen them is much harder to do, I think, than having a million tricks that like, yeah, cool, you did a lot of crazy tricks, but you know, it looked a little funny.
Yeah, like when we did X Games, I would practice every trick that everyone was doing, but when I would watch a video of it, I'm like, I ain't doing that in public. Like I'll do it with the homies in the backyard all the time, trying, but I'm like, I ain't doing that in public where people are gonna see it and clown me because I'm like, I didn't like the style of it.
Yeah, I think. Oh, sorry.
No, go.
I was just gonna say a quote that came to mind. I think Bruce Lee once said, he said, "I'm not afraid of the guy who knows a million moves. I'm afraid of the guy who knows a few moves that he's done a million times." And like, I feel like that applies to our sports.
Yeah,
it's like the basis of martial arts too. Like understanding just your most basic technical moves and making them so smooth, jab, block, cover. I mean, just the basic things. I mean, they say it in boxing all the time, just your 1-2 could literally win you a fight. And everybody's out here like making Instagram videos trying to show you like a duck, a cover, a slip, and move it and throw a 2 and a 1. And people are like, I don't even know what that means. So it's the same concept, like understanding your foundation. But I think that goes even with business. Like they always say, like too wide a product, your company's not gonna work, right? Because you don't have the foundation. Like do one or two things really good. It's focus is key to anything. That's awesome that you guys apply it to your sport.
I love when people tell me something won't work because I'm like, watch this, motherfucker. I'll find a way to make it work. Like, tell me I suck at something and watch me get better at it. Like that's my motivation right there.
For sure.
Twitch, was there a trick that you ever saw that was like, all right, this guy just blew me away? Like, did someone ever do one trick? Because I was talking to Sheckler about this, and he's like, when he did the Costco gap or whatever, and people like fantasize about these tricks, like these one-off tricks that are just crazy because it's not a competition, you didn't win anything, just like a spot, kind of similar to, you know, a skating like Santa Monica Stair. Is there a spot or like a trick that you saw one guy do and you're like, I've never seen anybody do that, and like you remember being blown away?
There's so many dudes in our sport that have done stuff where I've thought that to my head where I'm like, dude, that's gnarly. But like, I don't know, not really personally for me, because I've always stayed in my own lane. Like I'll see someone do something cool as hell and I'm like, that's cool, that's their deal. Like I've never wanted to try to one up someone else like that. I've always just like done my own things and just try to stay in my own lane.
So there was never even a rider that, or like someone that you were competing against that you saw do something and you're like, damn, that'll stick with me forever?
Yeah,
like
there's I don't have one specific one. I have like hundreds of them because, dude, I'm old as hell. I'm 43 years old. I've seen everything go down in my industry on a motorcycle. So there's so many things. Like I never want to do a triple flip. I never want to do double flip. I don't want to do a front flip flare. I don't want to do a 540. You know what I mean? Like there's so many gnarly tricks. It's hard to name just one for me. Was there someone for you?
Same, like there's so many that my brain actually can't even think of any.
That's
like,
how I was right now. I was like, there's so many.
Like I trip out all the time that I'm very fortunate enough to see like the best skateboarding every single day right in front of my face because some of my friends are some of the best skaters ever, and I know most every big name skater, and I skated with them all. So I trip out on the fact that I'm fortunate enough to like be at this time in history to see these guys in their youth, in their prime, and watch them with my eyes. I'm more fascinated how people skate in person than through video because obviously you can edit and just get that one that they finally did. But to see how a person approaches their session and the way they skate, the way they just warm up and do simple things is so fascinating to me. So I'm very spoiled. So there's so many people I've watched skate, whether it be in a contest, whether it just be in a casual session in the streets, that have blown me away. That I'm like, damn, like that's respect. You know, like,
Was there ever a spot that you would go to just to watch everybody first before you started skating it, or were you always able to just go anywhere you wanted and do it on your own?
no, not always able to go anywhere I wanted, but like, you know, I'm fortunate. I grew up in the epicenter of skateboarding. You know, LA, San Fernando Valley. Like I grew up right where like it was the hot spot. So I was fortunate enough to go to a lot of the places I would see in videos.
Yeah, you're like,
and
I skated by that yesterday.
Yeah, I would go to certain spots on the weekend, and then you know Eric Costin might just show up. You know, any given day, a big name skater might show up. So I wouldn't just go to like look for some of my favorite skaters, but it did happen a lot where they would just pop up because they happen to just want to skate that spot that weekend too, and me and all my friends happened to be there. But I was so hungry to skate, like I would never stop skating just to watch.
Yeah.
Unless I went to
You'd
a
be
demo.
like, okay, now my turn.
Yeah.
That's so crazy because you say like Eric Costin. Did you know him before you were on Nike?
Yeah.
Were you guys friends?
Yeah. I used to know Eric. I mean, when I actually knew and met Eric was probably when I was like 14, 15. Wow. But before that, I would see him around and see him at demos, see him at spots. And I was just a kid and I knew Eric. But at a point when Eric actually knew who I was back was probably when I was like 14, maybe 15.
Were you guys skating together?
Yeah, I was shooting a photo with Atiba Jefferson. He was like he's our biggest to this day. Like if you shoot with Atiba, you made it. You're in the game, you know. And he was shooting a lot with Eric back then and Andrew Reynolds. And I wanted to go skate the spot, and he was going to come shoot the ad, and he just invited Costin without even telling me because he knew Eric was my favorite skater.
Oh, that's dope.
And Eric just showed up, and I was.
You're just like cloud nine, kind of nervous, but like I'm gonna do this.
I was super nervous. Yeah. I couldn't like talk. I couldn't really look at him. I was, you know, I'm 14, bro.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Looking to a dude that you're just like, oh my god.
So, but it was great. It was a great memory. So after that, then like I would like find myself on the session with those guys and like going out with those guys and skating. It was a trip to me.
Who was your crew of skaters growing up though? Before you really got into your like 20s, from like the 14, 16, 17, 18, who was your crew of skaters?
So it was like my friend Dan Abadi, another fellow pro skateboarder friend of mine, Spanky. Let's see who else. There's this kid, Steve Roth. He was our filmer. Scuba Steve, who's now our Nike team manager. Who else? There's Dario. So many kids, man. We had a huge group of kids. Mikey Taylor, Justin Case. And that's just to name a few. Like there was so many. Nigel Alexander. Too many to
It's cool to see like or to hear some of those names because it's like people I know. You
know what I mean?
Or I've heard of or I've seen around in the industry. So it's cool to see like that many dudes make it out of like a group like that, you know?
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. Like some of the kids I grew up with all still pro skaters to this day. Yeah. Tori Pudwill as well.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yep.
So many people from that era. It's like something happens. There's an energy with the right crew gets together and everybody's pushing themselves. Like you see so many people kind of like sprout from that like hotbed of I don't know if it's talent or just the energy that's going on that just like sparks something that like a group of us all made it, and it was pretty it's pretty cool to see.
Everyone just pushing each other too, just daily.
Yeah.
Do you feel like traveling to this like X Games tour or Do tour at the time, or even things like Maloof Money Cup and doing all those events together, even though people were competing against each other, do you feel like that's what kind of kept it together for so long? Because we don't see a lot of these like skate team, skate friends anymore. We see like you know, Nigel's got his crew, but it's kind of just Nigel and his like media team and his friends. And Sheckler's got his crew, but it's kind of just Sheckler and his media team and his friends. And kind of you have your crew, but it's kind of like your primitive boys or Robert Neal or Deshaun, whoever you got, you know.
Social media is the culprit behind all of this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's just because everybody has their own channel now. Everybody has their own, basically their own television show now. And you know, you can capitalize on putting out content or not, do it however you want to do it. But back then, like, you know, there was only one filmer or one photographer, and we would all have, you know, gather around them, and we'd all figure out where we're going to go skate. And okay, we're going to go to this spot because this guy wants to skate this spot, but I might wait because I want to go to the next spot. I have something I want to try at the next spot, so I'm going to save myself and wait for that spot. And so, like, you had to be like more patient, I guess.
Yeah,
back
for
then,
sure.
You know?
It's a different world, completely different world. Today, like we have like 20 of the best fighters in the world. We have Armin, Buchecha, Khalil Roundtree. You have Luke Rockhold, Coach Yogi, Coach Perot. You have like 90 different sports athletes in here throughout the day.
Today.
Yeah,
so cool.
You literally have a ring full of fighters, you know, a podcast full of skaters and moto legends. But back then, you would never be able to capture this much content in one day. We literally do this every day here.
That's what's cool about the whole vibe here.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, because sometimes for me, you got to step back, and I'm going at 100 miles an hour. I step back for a second, you know, damn, we really have it special here right now. It's a moment.
Yeah,
like
you're going to look back in 10 years from now, and it's going to feel like it went like that. And you're going to be like, damn, man, those were the days. What happened to those days? Like, everyone kind of like went their own way. And like,
I soak it up. I stay here all day, actually. So I get here at 8, I leave at 2 in the morning. I'm actually enjoying every minute. I crashed the bike this morning just to enjoy it.
Oh, we saw.
Yeah.
How sick is it having your own park now? Like, just being like in the position to be like, I got my own warehouse where I can skate any time of day, any time of night, any weather.
And it's nice.
I know it's dope. Like,
it's real nice.
I feel like when you built your park, everyone was like, oh shit, like your walls are dope, like your lighting's dope, like your stairs, like everything there is sick as hell.
Yeah, that was the hope. Like, I really wanted to make a statement with it. And, you know, like, I wanted to also, like, of course, we're still doing what we're doing since we've been kids, but like, I also want to bring my grown man vibes into it.
Your
know,
style, your
cigar
vibe.
lounge in the back. You know, I got the pool table, got the basketball hoop, but like, I wanted to be like, yo, this is clean. It's not the skate park where you just leave shit all over the place.
Yeah.
The trash can's overflowing and like junk is everywhere, dust is everywhere. Like, no, like treat it like you're coming over to my house. You know what I mean? So like,
that's what it looks like.
Clean and nice and like just mature, but don't get it twisted. We're gonna skate every day.
Still
we're
gonna
gonna
have a lot of fun.
Yeah, a little recovery zone, you know. So I'm grateful for the fact that I've earned the right to be spoiled these days, and I'm gonna indulge in my spoiledness.
You ever get the "it must be nice"?
All the time.
You're like, I never said it wasn't, but I've worked my ass off and broke every bone in my body to get to this position. You know, that's the one thing I hate hearing is everyone's like, oh, it must be nice. You're like, you know how many times I've almost died? You know how many
like,
bones I've broken?
You're just lucky.
Yeah, you're just lucky. You're like, no, I worked hard at what I did my whole entire life. Like,
so funny how people confuse luck and working hard. Yeah, everything takes a little bit of blessing and luck, but you don't get put in the opportunity to get blessing and luck without hard work.
Exactly.
And that's
I
the
see
difference.
people that can have the world, but they just have no heart with what they do. You know what I mean? It's like
bad perspective too.
Yeah, like what we do is like we would do it even if we weren't making money doing it. That's like a lot of people don't understand that. They're like, oh, you just do it for the money. I'm like, I could care less about the money. Like
that's how we got to this point. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't have gotten to the position you're in if you didn't do it for many years prior to ever getting paid. You know?
There's sacrifices. There's so many holidays I've missed, birthdays I've missed, or been in the hospital. You know what I mean? Like it's part of our industry.
I think that the biggest thing, even for me too, with like the brand and balancing everybody, is people don't understand. You have to really love what you do, but that's a very cliche statement. What the statement should say is you have to be okay with doing the same thing every single day, morning to night, 7 days a week, without losing the love.
Right. You have to understand what the definition love means. Like, it's cool. Like, oh yeah, I love it. Oh yeah, you know, I love water or whatever. Like, you say it casually, but you have to understand like how intense that love has to be. Like, it has, like, people want to be Michael Jordan, you name it, whatever athlete. You want to be Michael Jordan, but you want to do what Michael Jordan did.
You don't know that dude's in the gym 3 hours before practice and 3 hours after practice.
Yeah. Great analogy, because that's the thing people always tell me every day about, like, oh man, Jaxxon, you just pay a bunch of people. No, first of all, no one really gets paid anything. We do whatever we can do to get by just to support them. But it's not like we're paying everybody's like kids' school tuition over here. Like, we're literally just trying to support everybody with payment or product or just a coach. Like, for example, you're like in your mid 40s, low 40s. You guys are at the height of your game still when I would talk about brand wise and
because
as an athlete.
Love what
because
we do.
you love what you do. You've kept yourself. Same thing I tell Sheckler or Nyjah, right? We have an amazing team here. You talk about elite athletes. You have Ellie Dela Cruz and Cody Bellinger having a season already. Jock Peterson, Blake Snell, Twitch, PROD, Hunter and Jet Lawrence.
Yeah.
Ryan Sheckler, Nyjah Houston. Then you got Luke Rockhold, Cheeto Vera. Then you got Mighty Mouse. You got all these guys. But the common theme with everybody we get for Jaxxon or Santos Studio is they all love what they do, whether they're competing, not competing, past, future, prime. We have Diego Lopez. He's been in here with me on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, Thanksgiving. Now he's about to go fight for the belt. We've been supporting him for 3 years.
Yeah.
And the concept here is we love what we do, so we go get people who love what they do, and then that authentically can connect.
Yeah,
And that's 100%. The part
100%.
where people just have a hard time. Like, you take recovery and training so hard. I see you boxing, seen you in here with Cody, our doctor of physical therapy and training. You do the same thing. I've seen you in here with Cody, the same thing. He's in here 5 days a week. People are like, why do you pay a doctor of physical therapy and training? Well, bro, all of our guys are elite athletes. If we can have them have a place where they can get free physical therapy, not like they can't afford it, but they can really use it as much as they want.
Yeah.
And strength training, and a guy who can look out for them and say, hey, I know your body. I've been working on you for a year. Come on in. I mean, literally, that's why Santos Studio just built a performance studio. That's why Jaxxon built the Jaxxon Media House. If we can help our athletes stay at this elite level, they'll do this forever because the guys we work with want to do it forever.
Yeah.
And that's the craziest thing. And like, these kids come in, they're like, oh, I want to get sponsored. I just took this at X Games. I just did this at SLS. I'm like, yeah, but what are you doing Monday through Friday? Like, you're in the clubs. You're like partying. I'm like, I don't need guys who party. We have enough models. That's what models do. Like, your job's to go win and be an elite athlete. But not everybody looks at their sport or themselves as an athlete.
Yeah, they
Like
want to
what
be
that
the
term
finished
is.
product. They don't want to be the on the way there product.
You're right. How long did it take you? And I wouldn't even say you're a finished product because I know you wouldn't call yourself that. But how long did it take you to get to this point? How long you been skating for?
28 years.
Same with you?
I've been riding since I was 2, and I'm 43 now.
And the guy woke up at 6 a.m. to be here, to be on a podcast. You got in an Uber from San Fernando Valley at 8 a.m. to be on a podcast. Both of you guys don't need to be doing this. And I'm saying this also to the audience. They hear a message. The common theme is, if you want to be in these seats like you guys, the most elite athletes in your sport, respectively, worldwide, for the last 2 decades, it's that work ethic.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's such a huge thing. It's so hard for me to translate to people.
And I feel like there's a lot of shit you got to do that you don't want to do to be where we're at in the position that we're in today. There's so many times where I didn't want to go travel to Europe. I didn't want to go to an event because I had a broken finger or a broken toe, like you know what I mean. But I still went because that's what I wanted to do. Like,
Yeah,
it's part of it.
Because you have a big vision for yourself. You can see the vision, and that vision. If you're that in love with that vision, it's going to compel you to do those things that require you to get there. It's not all glory. It's not all glitz and glamour.
It's
a lot
definitely
of it
not.
is a lot of downtimes, a lot of injuries, pain, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of mental strain that you put on yourself.
When you're hurt, looking at everyone else skating, getting better than you. Like, even like this last time I got hurt, I broke my ankle or I broke my leg, and people are like, "Oh, you're too old to be getting hurt." I'm like, I'll never be too old to be getting hurt. Like, I'm going to be doing this till the day I die. Or like, a lot of people always ask me, when are you going to quit riding? I'm like, when it ain't fun. I'm like, there's certain days I don't feel like riding, but I see everyone riding in my backyard because I'm blessed enough to have a spot where everyone can come practice, where I'm like, man, they look like they're having fun. I'm going to go get a session in with these guys real quick. Or it's like, I'll wake up and be like, I want to try and learn this trick today, just for myself, not for anyone else. But it's like, that's where it is, like having heart for what you do.
100%. Well, as we get ready to kind of wrap this thing up, first of all, thank you guys both for being a part of the vision for Jaxxon Media House, and now Santos Studio, trying to continuously make the most elevated product. I know we've been dropping the brand new JX1. I got the new rubber strap on. The boys
show off.
This guy, like, literally one of the oh wow, you went and got one too.
I stole this when it came in as a sample.
That is so funny. But P-Rod and yourself have both been here through the entire design process, and I know both of you guys have a signature edition watch dropping with Jaxxon this year. It's going to be amazing. I won't leak too much, but I want to talk about another signature edition thing. P-Rod's got a 20th anniversary shoe coming out with Nike, the Nike SB P-Rod. What are you calling it? The P-Rod 1?
It's the P-Rod 1. It's the first ever signature skateboard shoe that Nike ever made. It dropped in 2005, which is crazy to think that was 20 years ago. And we're going to retro it, and we're dropping it this May. So I'm really excited. Dropping
so
it May
sick, dude.
Worldwide.
Seriously, that's gnarly.
Yeah, it's worldwide. So, hey, man.
Speaking of athletes, come over here. Look at this guy, dude. He looks like a Roman statue.
Nobody in here wants to
Hey,
wrestle.
no one wants to wrestle this guy. This is Armin Taruska-Roskin. He's the... How do you say your last name? Okay.
Not like that. Say it again.
Armin Tabuli. All right, Armin's the #1 contender in the world. This is a perfect example.
I'm future champ.
Future champ.
That's
Yes,
the last
I
name
like
right
that.
Yeah.
This guy flew all the way over from Dagestan to be here for the last month, and he's going to stay here for the next 2 months. He's doing training camp. He's one of a kind. I want to talk about something, Armin. Come over here. I got to tell the boys
Future
something.
champ.
Future champ. Come over here, future champ.
I just had the PT.
Oh, well, we were just talking about that, Cody. See, I love that. Gray hair, by the way. You look like a model. Listen, one thing about hard work, same thing as you guys. We fly this guy over, #1 contender in the world, literally could be doing whatever he wants, drives a Maybach, so rich. I don't even know. He's just so rich. But all he wants to do is train. Armin, why is that? You're here 3 times a day, training, recovery. Then you do wrestling. Then you do striking. And you're already #1 contender in the world. Why?
Because I want to be UFC champion.
That's right.
Easy as that. Easy as that. Honestly, no joking. We love you, Armin. No joking.
Respect.
One of the greatest skaters of all time.
You too sometimes.
One of the greatest moto freestyle legends of all time. And the future champion. And that's a perfect example. And I honestly, sometimes we joke, but this guy literally is so rich. I don't even know how. Like I said, he's got Russian money, but he's here 3 times a day.
He wants to be the
strength
best
and conditioning. Then he does wrestling. Then he does striking. He trains with Perillo, trains with Yogi. Then he goes and does jujitsu. His head coach is Khalil.
Yeah.
Or he trains with Khalil, and then he goes trains with his head coach Bernardo from Checkmat, who's running our Santo Studio Jiu-Jitsu. Then he does recovery and strength training with Cody. And the guy doesn't ever want to turn off. And it literally baffles my mind when I see these young fighters come in. I'm like, oh, you want to be the best? This guy is showing you what it takes to be the best.
Yeah.
3 times a day.
You better be doing double what he's doing because
Yeah.
that's how you become better than the next
That's
person.
a guy who's focused on legacy, focused on big picture.
Truly inspiring.
Yeah.
And then you get to know him and you realize he's a good dude.
Yeah, he's cool as hell.
quiet. Like, I'm very loud and obnoxious sometimes.
No.
This guy is so...
Never.
Well, my ADD kicks in and then I lose control. And then once I get going, I get a few laughs. I'm like, all right, it's it. I'm here.
The first day I met Armin, he's like, meet me for breakfast over here. I was like, all right, cool. I go walking in, I see this dude from the back. They're about the same build, same size, you know what I mean? I'm like, all Santo, everything. I'm like, I'm gonna check him in his ribs real quick. And I'm like, wait a second. And I like walk up a little bit closer and I look around, I'm like, oh fuck, I know who this dude is. I'm like, thank God I didn't give him a rib shot real quick. Cause I've never met him before. It was like the first time I met him.
Yeah,
like he
yeah.
came walking in behind me. I'm like, dude, I almost just gave you, who I thought was Armin, a fucking rib check. And
Oh
I'm
my
like, dude, I'm like,
gosh.
He would've
I would
killed
have
you.
been just, my ass would have got beat that
He would have
day.
killed you.
Yeah, it would have been.
That guy's a monster.
I know.
Dude.
It's crazy to me. But no, and like I was saying, it's just... That is like the most inspiring thing. And I get that from you. That's why I love having it's the same thing. 2 years ago, I took him to Nobu. I go, bro, you got to help me build this brand. He's like, I don't got to do anything. No, I'm just kidding. He's like, I was like, no, but we really want you on the team because it's inspiring. I wanted these head figures, not father figures, but head figures, guys who have done it and can kind of like lay the way for the future guys. And then when these younger athletes can come into the Jaxxon Media House, they could be like, damn, PROD's here. I can go link and learn. You know, you got Scrappy in here, a big boxer.
Yeah.
You got Yogi bringing in this team. And I'm not trying to name drop.
You got
I'm trying to
Rampage
say
in
that-
here all the day,
Yeah, Rampage
like-
is in here every day
Dude.
for training camp and to sit in this chair and break it. He's so big. But what I'm trying to say is that
Fat ass.
everybody mixes and merges their cultures and they all learn from each
Yeah.
other. And then on the business side, everybody's getting tricks. Everybody's getting tips. I mean, you built a massive compound in your backyard. You've obviously cracked the code. You're like, all right, cool. I'm going to just do this in my house.
You
And
can
then-
ask me what that code is, but I would be like, I don't fucking know. I just did what I wanted to do every single day. Like I never changed who I was, or certain sponsors be like, you can't do this. I'm like, no, like this is who I am. Like this is who you're getting into bed with. This is what I do. If you want to be a part of it, cool. If you don't, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Like
And just
I've just
aligning
been
with
authentic
brands.
to myself the whole time.
And that comes down to aligning with brands that understand you.
Yeah.
And then that comes down like with P-Rod, and then that enables
how you
you
get
to
that
just keep
longevity.
going and have longevity.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
you
crazy.
just gotta follow. Sounds corny, but follow your North Star. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
that makes sense.
What's right for you?
So
Yeah,
what's the
man.
actual date though that the P-Rod 1, the 20th anniversary shoe comes out?
May 16th.
May 16th. And are you doing something crazy for that? Do you know?
As far as an event, I don't have that planned yet. No, but we got the rollout coming.
Yeah, we're having a party at the skate park.
Let's do it. Let's go.
I'll
Bring
throw-
everybody.
up.
Bring all
I'll
the
throw a
coming
banger. I'll throw a bang. We'll have the Concrete Cowboys doing wheelies in the parking lot.
Let's go.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's going to be a big year for everybody. I appreciate it. It's always good to get two legends in the same room, and I'm sure we'll have more of these coming. Guys, make sure if you guys want to hear certain things, see certain people on the show, the Jaxxon Sports Podcast is a way for me and Twitch to sit down with guys like PROD and Sheckler, different guys in skate and moto. We're also going to be bringing in guys from surf, and we're going to be having some golf stuff with Dustin Johnson and the Four Aces and the Live Golf Tour. And it's just a way for us to kind of sit down with our guys that are on the team and people that are friends of the friends of the hosts, and kind of just get anything we want to talk about out. And if you guys want to hear that, see that, leave us a comment of who you guys want to see on the show next. We'll make sure to get him, or Twitch will maybe not get him. It's up to Twitch most of the time. He'll decide who comes on the show.
I
and who
get
doesn't.
everybody.
Twitch gets everybody. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment, subscribe. We're out.